Hello, welcome to the FRQ of the day. So today we are going to try the 2008 Form B. Now, I need to encourage you about a couple things. Make sure that you do a good job of doing the demo on the College Board side, of the MyAP side, or getting in their email. They should have sent you a demo on how to upload the test. It's important that you practice that beforehand and you make sure you work out any glitches in submitting the test, because there has been some problems in submitting the test properly. So make sure you do that. And also, if you have a school-issued laptop, the school is asking the seniors to turn in their laptops May 20th and 21st. But if you're using it to take the AP Stats exam, which is May the 22nd at 1 p.m., as you know, then you don't have to turn it in. We're going to arrange it, set up a time where you can turn in your laptop. So we're still arranging that. But anyway, so let's look at this problem. Let's see if we can figure this one out. It says a researcher wants to conduct a study to test whether listening to soothing music for 20 minutes helps to reduce systolic blood pressure in patients with high blood pressure, compared to simply sitting quietly in a noise-free environment for 20 minutes. 100 patients with high blood pressure at a large medical clinic are available to participate in the study. Part A, propose a design for this study to compare the two treatments. And Part B, the null hypothesis for this study is that there is no difference in the mean reduction of systolic blood pressure for the two treatments, and the alternative is that the mean reduction in systolic blood pressure is greater for the music treatment. If the null hypothesis is rejected, the clinic will offer this music therapy as a free service to the patients with high blood pressure. Describe type 1 and type 2 errors and the consequences of each in the context of the study, and discuss which one you think is more serious. So if you want to pause the video now and give that a shot, that would be great. Okay, so we have a couple of options here as far as designing the experiment. You could do you could just do a completely randomized design, randomly assign 50 of the 100 patients to get the music treatment, the other 50 to get the silent treatment, and do it that way. All right, but or you could do a matched pair. Either one of them you get full credit for. But here is the matched pair design. The matched pair design would be good to do here. Why? Because it reduces variability in your responses. And so we're going to have each person be a matched pair. So this is how you would do that. You have to randomly decide which one they're going to do first. But every one of the 100 patients is going to do both treatments. They'll do what? Let's say they'll listen to the soothing music for 20 minutes and see what happens to their blood pressure. Then they'll let the blood pressure go back to what it was before. Then they'll do the noise-free environment for 20 minutes and see what happens to their blood pressure. But by doing a matched pair design, it takes care of other variability that can occur. But this is the way I would describe that. You have to clearly state how you're randomizing the treatments. It's going to be randomized in the sense of which one they do first. So for this one, I'll create a matched pair design where each person represents a pair. Assign each of the 100 patients a unique integer from 1 to 100. Use a random number generator to create 50 unique integers from 1 to 100. The 50 patients with these integers listen to soothing music for 20 minutes and note their improvement in blood pressure. Let's say they each of them then each of them let their blood pressure go back to what it was before. They then sit in a noise-free environment for 20 minutes and note the improvement in blood pressure. The other 50 patients do a similar procedure, except they do the noise-free first and then the music second. After the treatments, compare the improvement in blood pressure between the two groups. So by doing the matched pair, it takes care of other variability, interpersonal variabilities that could occur. Of course, randomization would help take care of that as well. But then there's also another way you could do this, and I wrote it out for this way as well, is you could do a completely randomized design. This would be completely randomized, where assign each of the 100 patients a unique integer from 1 to 100. Use a random number generator to create 50 unique integers from 1 to 100. The patients with those 50 integers get put into a group that listens to soothing music for 20 minutes. The other 50 patients are put into a group that sit quietly in a noise-free environment for 20 minutes. after the 20 minutes, compare the improvement in blood pressure between the two groups. And it's important that you note it's about the improvement in blood pressure, okay? Not just the change in blood, but how much it improves. So, and so that's how you do it. There's actually another sort of match pair design where you could pair the people up, 2 people in each pair. Let's say those with the highest blood pressure gets paired together because they have the most room for improvement. Randomly assign one to get the music, one to sit in the noise-free environment, and then compare their improvement in blood pressure. But anyway, so there's really 3 different ways of doing this problem. But you have to clearly state, to do an experiment, you have to clearly state how you're randomizing. You have to clearly state what's happening in the groups. Then you have to clearly state how the results are being compared between the groups. Okay, between the groups. Those are the 3 things that you have to make sure and include in that. And then the other thing it asks us is, it asks us to describe type 1 and type 2 error in this situation and which one is worse. All right, and you may recall, let me write this out for you again. In type 1 error, I just remember the phrase that 1 is hot. 1 is hot. In other words, in type 1 error, the null is true. But I rejected the null. That's what makes it an error. Okay, I rejected the null. All right, in type 2 error, all right, so type 2 error is the vice versa of that. It's when the null is false. The null is false, but I failed to reject it. I put up with bad stuff. I failed to reject the null. And I like writing that out just so it's easy to get the logic mixed up, and then having that as I write my answer down. All right, so the null hypothesis here, according to the problem set, is that there's no difference in the 2 groups. Is that the music and the quiet group works the same in regards to helping their blood pressure. And the alternative is that the music works better. Okay, so type 1 error, you're just going to say, well, it's the null is false, but I've rejected that. And so, so this would occur, type 1 error, this occurs when there is no difference in the groups. I said that backwards. See, that's why I wrote it down. Type 1 error is when the null is true. Type 1 error is when the null is true, but I reject it. Okay, so I'm just going to say the null is true. So type 1 error is when there is no difference in the group, but I say that the music group works better. Okay, in other words, I've rejected it. All right, and what are the consequences of that? That means the clinic offers free music therapy, but it does not work. And that is the consequences that it talked about up here. It said if it did work, they'll offer free music therapy. But anyway, so that's type 1 error and the consequences for type 1 error. Type 2 error, that's when the null is false. So this occurs, so type 2 error, this occurs if the music therapy does work better, but I say that it doesn't. Okay, this means that the clinic does not offer free music therapy, but it could have worked. They're not using a therapy that could have worked. So those are the consequences. Then it asked me to say, which one they think is working. And you could go either way on this. You could say, I think type 1 is worse because you're wasting money on therapy that doesn't work, and that would be fine. Here I said, I think type 2 is worse because they are not using a potentially helpful therapy. Type 1 is really not doing much harm. And so you just had to present, which one you think was worse and have some reason behind it. And so there you go. Now, and this is something that could definitely, I think, on this year's exam, this sort of thing could definitely happen. So make sure you're cool with stating, type 1 and type 2 error and the consequences of it. And thanks for watching the video. I hope you're doing well. If you have any questions, let me know. Please do the demo on how to load your answers properly into the College Board. And if you need anything else, please just send me the message. I would enjoy communicating with you.